sort of one-on-one, as you said. So I actually want to hear from you, like,
Yeah.
when what was sort of the way you got into entrepreneurship initially, and like why I guess why
Yeah.
entrepreneurship? A lot of people kind of most people I talk to are like
Yeah.
they're going to be millionaires, but they're going to do it through college, is sort of what I always hear.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, I mean, I had the unfair advantage of being homeschooled. A lot of people may look at that and think of it as a disadvantage, but when you really think about it, it's like most kids were in school from whatever it was, 8 to 3 o'clock or 9 to 3 o'clock. Whereas I would get my work done, or my schoolwork done by like 11 or 12, or I could
Hmm.
just like put it off. And so I had all this time to learn and do other things. So what that started off with at first was like making beats, making music. So my first online money was selling music. I sold one beat for
Really?
like $50. Yeah, I was like on SoundCloud. And so I like, even then I like was learning how to network on SoundCloud, how to build connections, how to build awareness, which I mean, I didn't realize it at the time, but it's some of the stuff I do today on other platforms. And so that was my first money, was like $50 for a beat. Quickly
Hmm.
realized I wasn't going to be that talented at it or wouldn't like it that much. And so, I transitioned into um, just online, like looking up stuff, how to make money, how to sell candy, clean shoes, just anything, just going down the rabbit hole of YouTube. And
Yeah.
eventually got hit with the biz op gurus. So your boy, freaking, who was it first? So some drop shipping guy got me. It was like Hayden Bowles or something. He's an OG.
Dude, so many people get hit by drop shipping. I
Yeah, man.
know.
That's like the gateway drug to this whole game, bro. That's the gateway. It gets you in and you're
a
hooked. So
hundred percent.
I did drop shipping for a while. And I made some money. I remember going around like to my homeschool friends, showing them like my website. It was called like eco style dot something. I was trying to do like eco-friendly products. Like I don't even it was so stupid. But like I had this store and I made some money, and then customers like wanted refunds, and it was just a mess. Um, but then I quickly realized there was money in just helping other people who had bigger budgets to actually scale their stores than I did. And
Yeah.
so I got good at positioning myself inside of Facebook groups I was like 14 or 15 at the time. And
Hmm.
I learned how to like become ranked high in Facebook groups and seen and build awareness and take that traffic over my profile and do all that stuff there. And so at that age, I'd already, again, using the same stuff from SoundCloud, just on Facebook, building awareness and becoming seen as an expert, even though I had like barely any time of experience. So people just had that appearance of me. And then I did
Yeah.
good work, which reinforced that I was an expert. And I started doing like freelance work / agency work for e-commerce stores. And then that transitioned into social media marketing because of Iman Godzi. So that was like that's like the speed run version of like how I got here.
I gotcha. That's really interesting. Like you started with music, because
Yeah.
it's funny. I think a lot of people are like, so it's like business, or they want to follow like a passion
Yeah.
and like become good through that passion. But it's like after like doing business, it's like the core skills there of being able to build connections with people and create like desire for a product, essentially, whether
Yep.
that's music or something else, is going to be the reason someone blows up. Um,
Yeah.
so it's kind of interesting you made that transition from like
Yeah.
SoundCloud, and yeah.
It's funny because right before COVID, I transitioned after social media marketing for local, like party rental, some realtors, just like that was the niche I was in. I transitioned over because I wanted to be like a copywriter. So I, again, got sold on this idea of being a copywriter, this funnel builder. And so my first ever funnel I sold, it was for $1,500. And it was to a
Hmm.
company that's now called pianoforproducers.com. And it was a music company. So they were selling MIDI packs, like samples to like
Oh,
producers. And so it was crazy because I was doing producing in SoundCloud. So I knew all the pain points. And I built this funnel for this guy. And that funnel went on to do over 1 million in 6 months. And now
yeah.
it's gone over to do multiple 10 million. Their company's huge. That funnel's still running, still see their ads. Only a few things have changed. There's just more testimonials and like sound clips on it. Everything else is the same. And I only sold that funnel for $1,500. And so at a very early stage, I realized and learned the lesson of undercharging or actually just not taking a percentage ship. And so that was just kind of crazy how like it eventually like tied in and played out. And that's I love that industry. I'm really excited to get back into the music niche at some point when I find a good person to publish. But yeah, that was the first like funnel I did for somebody else.
I got you. I bet that was actually probably good for you to have like
Yeah.
you charge
Oh, for sure.
1,500 and then make them like millions, and then you're like, that must have given you a lot of confidence from the perspective of like, because a lot of people struggle to charge high amounts.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, I'm just
Yeah.
designing a landing page. It's like, well,
And
you're doing something someone else doesn't want to learn. It's the same reason you
yeah.
pay an accountant.
And then like looking back, like the funnel I built, it was a low ticket offer, and it was
Really?
$27 front end offer. And so it's funny because now I lean more into it heavily as like the main it is the only like client acquisition source I preach, use, and build for my clients. But even back then, I was like, dude, my most success, I didn't realize it until more recent. Like, dude, the most successful offer I ever built for somebody was a low ticket $27 front end product. Why didn't I just lean into it sooner? And then the next one
Yeah.
I sold, it was like a marriage one. It was Empowered Man Challenge or something. I think it was like $100 though. So it was almost like mid ticket, low ticket. That one did multiple
Yeah.
6 figures. And I've just always been in that realm. And so it's funny how it didn't like click sooner. But looking back, those are like my most successful offers I had created.
The low ticket stuff. I'm curious
Yeah.
because one question I get a lot um, from people that like are starting out is, how do you have confidence and conviction in your own skill set if you haven't actually like done stuff yet? Do you have
Yeah.
an answer for that?
Yeah, I mean, well, you shouldn't. Like, I don't think you do unless you go do something. Like, people assume like they're just gonna read like a self-help book or watch some podcast that's gonna fire them up, and all of a sudden they're gonna be confident to go sell something. But that's not the case. Like, you actually have to go do something. And so, I mean, it depends on the person's age or scenario. But let's just speak to like someone who's in high school or college age. That's probably someone who's thinking that. It's like, come on, you got to think about it. A lot of these people are living at home. If you're lucky and blessed enough, you have parents who love you and feed you. I know there are people that don't have that, but you could have, sometimes you're living at home, you're living somewhere. And so you have that taken care of. So you have like the basic necessities taken care of. And then you also have a lot of time. Like, you have 24 hours in a day, and not to like sound like a hustle grind set guru and be like, just work a ton, but like, dude, seriously, you have so much time. Like, now, like, I'm married, I'm 22. I have my company. I intern. I still play baseball. I coach baseball. I did all that, and I still have time to do this. But I look back before, I'm like, bro, I had even more time then. So you have all this time. The basic necessities are taken care of. So you do have time to go out there and learn something and fail forward, I think, is what, again, people would probably say. But you have time to go out there and like grow and learn and do stuff. And so, man, you think about like when I first started in that early stage when I was doing freelance work, I didn't have
Mhm.
a ton of experience. Like, I built a store, and I built that like for myself, and I built that store in a free 30-day trial on Shopify, and I'd done it once. So I had like a small ounce of conviction and confidence I could do it again, but it's because I actually did something. So I think there's so much opportunity for anybody, no matter what market you're in, no matter what offer you're doing, doesn't matter what business you're building. There's ways that you can go get experience without even getting paid for it at first, or you can even get paid and like get paid even if you don't have a ton of results at the start. Like, there will be somebody who gives you a chance, even if it's for 20 bucks, 30 bucks, like 40
Yeah.
bucks. Like, it's crazy. Like, the amount of problems I have in my business right now that I don't want to handle, that if somebody just came to me and offered to go learn the solution and then come to me to solve it, I would pay them a couple $100. Like, it'd be easy, like up to like $500. So just like, hey, go learn. I don't even care if you're not an expert yet. Just go learn it so I don't have to, and come do it for me. Great, I'll pay you. I don't need to see testimonials. Just go do it and convince me that you're going to go learn it.
Exactly. Exactly. I think that's what you need to follow. You said you're an intern, or like you're an intern somewhere right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, dude.
Really?
It's like my favorite.
Fill
Yeah.
me in on that.
Yeah. So I grew up in the church, Christian parents, raised a Christian, but it wasn't until like 14-ish when I really made it my own faith and my own belief. At the time, I
Mhm.
was just going to my parents did, which I'm sure a lot of people watching this can relate to. But I was 14. I just started my business around then. And so I really realized, like, holy crap, life is crazy. And if I don't have like, there's so much hard stuff that if I don't have a hope or a faith in something, I'm going to be really depressed, ton of anxiety, no joy. It's going to suck. Maybe I should take this serious. And so that's honestly been like the fact that I can wake up every day and not be stressed out about my work and continue on after going to zero, which we talked about that story too before getting married, losing all my money and bouncing back. But the only reason I was able to do that is because I had like faith in Jesus and that I'd go to heaven someday. And so for me, like I build my business and I do what I do now so that I can do what matters most, which is like share the best news out there. I personally believe, which is the gospel. And one of the ways I get to do that is through interning at my church. And so I run a small group. I help with the youth ministry. I learned from my pastor, who's just such a wise in just communication and leadership. And so a lot of my business skills and how I lead my team come from my pastor who leads a church. And so it's funny, if I go to a business meetup, you're like, what do you do? I would say, I'm an intern at my church. Like, that's the first thing I say, because that's like what I actually love doing. Like, if I could choose, I'd love to go run my small group with the boys that I lead and just like talk about that and study the word of God. But we live in a world that requires work and toil, which Ecclesiastes talks about and tells us to do. So here I am trying to do both.
Yeah. Would you say you're still passionate about like work though? Like in like the whole marketing and sales?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's funny because one of my friends, Logan, I think Logan, he's talked to you before. He's in here right now.
Hit me up.
Working with me.
Hit me up the other day. Logan was talking about how he's getting his first Rolex soon. He was asking
he
my
is.
thoughts.
He's next up, man. Logan. So he's Logan. Logan and I used to go to. We still go to church together.
The one I recommended.
Hey, is that fake?
Date just.
That looks
nah.
Yeah,
no, dude, this was like $30 from Walmart, dude. No.
Yeah, bro, let's go. Fake cash.
It's date just is the way to go for Logan. But continue.
Yeah, so it's funny. I bring up Logan because it's something we've talked about. Like, he remembers the time when I tell him, like, bro, like when I wake up, I'm like not excited to run my business. Like, I was like 100%. Like, it wasn't because things were bad. Like, things were great. It was like my best, making the most I ever had. And I was just like, I woke up, I was not that excited to do it. And it was like for a good like year or two. And it wasn't like, I have to do it, but like when I woke up, it wasn't about that. Like I was more fired up to go serve at my church, or help people out, or like we do like camps. And so just like I'd be outside like setting up in like 90-degree weather for like a youth event. It was the best. I'm like, this is so fun. Like I love it. And so like that stuff really fires me up. I really love that. And there was a season where I really wasn't passionate about my business, but now more so recently, as I found what I like to do inside a business, what I feel like I'm called to do inside a business, figuring out what I want more. I am enjoying it more. And there's some days where I'll wake up and get excited about it. But I also just realized, dude, like the romantic stage can't last forever. Like if you do the math, I've been in this game for like 8 years. This is my 8th year. So I'm almost approaching a decade, and I'm only 22 years old right now. And so I'll be about 24, 25 when I've been in this game for a decade. And I'm like, dude, you're in a decade for anything. Of course it's going to get old. Of course it's going to get boring. Of course it's going to get slow. Like you can't always have that hypey feeling I had when I first discovered drop shipping. And so you have to be motivated by other things. You have to find love in other parts of the game. And so I feel like I'm discovering that more. But I think it was just kind of like a midlife crisis where I'm like, dude, okay, I've checked the boxes of life, got married to my dream girl. I live in the apartment I wanted to live in, have the business I said I wanted to have with how much it was making. I have faith in Jesus. I feel good. It's like, what next, And so I had to dig deeper. And now I'm finding it. I really like what I do. But still, like, dude, I still don't like wake up and the first thing I'm thinking is I can't do like build my funnels or anything. Like it's not the same as it used to be. There's other things which is healthy, which is good, But there is a season where that's awesome. Like lean into that. Like if anyone watching this is in that romantic stage, bro, like milk it, love it, enjoy it. Because at some point, if you stay in this game long enough, like it will wear off.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not a surprise. You've been in it longer than most people ever are. A lot of people like have like the 1 to 2 year stint, and then they kind of drop off.
Yeah, exactly.
When did you find Alan? Because I know Alan's kind of, I think for both of us, we would both say Alan's kind of our main mentor in that sense. When did you find Alan?
Yeah, so I discovered that, and for anyone who doesn't know, Alan Sultanich is a founder of a group called Nothing Held Back. It's on Facebook, and you can also look at the website. But I found Alan, it was 2022, I think, or 2021. No idea how I got into the group. I think someone mentioned it once and I joined up, and probably like 10,000 members, maybe a little less. And so I like discovered that and I was like, oh, sweet, this is awesome. But at the time, like I was, it's 2 years ago, 20 years old. So I'd already been in the game for a while at that point, at least like 5 years, 4 or 5 years, right? And so at the time I'd done offers, I had my own offers. I did coldmessagingkings.com, profile funnel secrets. Like Cold Messaging Kings, one of the first cold messaging offers the agency space. I remember Iman Gadzi got on a call with me and I taught it to him. And then it was later in one of his OG programs. Like
That's
all the
so cool.
guys, all the gurus, like, and if you guys don't believe me, go to my YouTube channel. I've interviewed them. We've had conversations. Like I know them. We've talked. So I have the proof. I have the videos. But I did that. Did profile funnel secrets using your profile for Facebook. I remember it was like that, and then Blake Newbar's social media lead machine. Those like the big two that like really taught like the slots, the Andrew Krez, like those people started doing it after Newbar really blew it up. And so I'd done offers, I've done agency, but I was kind of hitting that wall where I was still bouncing around doing it a lot. And I was like, what do I want to really focus in on? And so that's when I found Alan, and I was like, okay, I feel like I knew a lot about marketing, but finding his stuff, I realized there was so much more to it, and just new levels.
It's way
to the
more
game.
in depth than anybody else
Yeah,
teaches.
yeah, it's just way more in depth. But it also helped me realize that like my goal isn't to like become the best copywriter in the world or the best marketer. Like that's not the identity I wanted. Whereas like other people were trying to put that identity on me because I was in like their course, or I paid them for coaching.
Yeah.
That's the identity they're trying to sell me, is like, be a copywriter, be this. Even like, I mean, dude, be an offer owner. Like that's an identity, right? And
Yeah.
so I realized like what I really wanted my true identity to be. And so that's like probably the most valuable thing I've gotten from Alan, and what I lean into now in that community, of course, with all the other amazing marketing help and whatnot. That's just huge in there. But yeah, that's about when I found him and like where I was at my journey and what really helped me like transition into.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. I'm interested to hear, because I know Logan is pretty young. Is he like more of, but you're also young. You've just been doing this for a while. Are you sort of, is this like a mentor-mentee relationship? Are you guys just friends?
Logan, is this a men? He can hear us. Logan, is this a men? Nah, dude, we're friends. We were.
So you guys are like just good friends, and you kind of are helping him.
How many
just
people?
Into the...
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but David, think how many people saw you do business, come up to you and like, I want to get into this. They say they want to get into it, and then they like never continue. It's like you don't talk to them. You're not going to hang out with them. Like you're done. It's like, hey, okay, watch this course, maybe come back to me. And it's like Logan, like I was kind of, when I first met him, I was like, okay, like let's see. But like he actually stuck through it. And then once people are like that, like I'll hang out, like talk business. Like I'd still be friends, but like I think that's it. We just have similar drives. Like we go to church together, serve there together. And so I love just looking for or finding those guys, or just anybody who has that drive. And our small group that I do, we have like, there's a couple of those guys, like 4 or 5 now, where they're all doing different business. Someone's got like moving company. Another guy's like does short form content and like media, AI agency, right? All these different things. We all come together and hang out and can be like peers and help each other out. So I think it's just good to have like peers, and I would just consider them all like peers, and we all share and get things from each other, which is huge. And it's so nice because I mean, you get how lonely like the game is. Like if you don't know people, like bro, it's like having a group you can come and talk. Like, and it's like call up Logan, be like, dude, and just talk about it. It's like, it's nice. Otherwise, like you need somebody, you need to have like a friend in the game. So that's what happened with Tanner.
That's what happened with
Tanner. He's like your boy. How do you guys meet? Like what's
so
his story?
Yeah. So
and Tanner,
what happened is,
for anyone who doesn't know, Tanner's your part, or you guys published offers together, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So what Tanner, so the kind of story behind that is Tanner got into the SMMA space before I did. Probably about like 2 years ago, roughly. And then he ended up being pretty successful like 6 months in. You guys know who Joel Kaplan is? I'm sure everybody knows Joel.
Joel,
but
I got stories about Joel. Just kidding.
Yeah. But anyways, he went on Joel's podcast, and then I got into the group later, and I just like really, really quickly, my agency took off. So I like did like 12K in my first like 30 days of business. And then I did like
Dang,
24 my second month. And so
let's
in those
go.
types of groups, if you do like big numbers fast and you're young, you're gonna like become like the case study, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they're
Uh,
like, cool, I want to
so,
interview you.
yeah. So I got like I like went from like their like lowest tier program, which is like $1,500 at the time. They don't offer it anymore. To
Yep.
like um to like I went straight to their like mastermind program, and then like I got connected with Tanner. He sold me on some like software, and then I
Oh,
like used it in my agency. It worked, and then I like kind of uh other people started using it because I was using it, and they're like, oh, like if
yeah.
David's using it, it works, I'll use it. And then Tanner and I kind of started working together on that, and then we just worked really, really well together.
Yeah.
And then from there, the kind of software thing died off, um, and then we actually worked with Joel on a project for a while, and then from there, we kind of went off and started doing our own things. We did like offer launches, sales team placements,
Dang.
kind of
Did it
leaning
all.
into our strengths, and then
But yeah,
um,
but but you like get like, yeah, having like somebody like him, it's so nice, right? Like being able to like bounce
dude,
ideas and be like, hey, like if you feel like you're going crazy or nothing's happening, you kind of like reality check. Like I feel like everyone watching this, like you need to have one person like that.
no, you do. I can't, like when I was doing business by myself, it was like one of the like loneliest like periods of my life. Like I literally just had
Yeah.
my girlfriend. Like in college before I started business, I was like a very, very social person. Like so
Yep.
I was like go out every single night, like tons of friends, very active. I was always like working out with people. And then I instantly went like, head first into this, and I didn't talk to anybody, like any of my friends, for like 60 days straight because I was just doing the business stuff.
Yeah.
No, I was super passionate, right? Like when you go from lifeguard like $12 an hour to like making, I guess it was like almost 40 grand in 2 months. I was like, holy shit, like this is insane. But
Yeah.
but like it was lonely, and then you find someone you can like really connect with on business. And now I keep a better relationship with my friends that aren't in business. It's like
Yep.
they're really important to me too. But it's like
Yep.
you kind of need like the business friend to have balance.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's so lonely.
Yeah, dude. You got to.
Yeah. So finding you need a good partner. They don't even have to be a partner, honestly, but just like
Yeah.
someone
Just a friend, dude.
you can connect
Yeah.
with.
I do not like, I can't, I've realized like that's something I learned about myself is like partnering. Like it's so hard for me to do. In terms of like if creative control, like I found I need to have creative control and then I can hire and partner with people who are doing more of the technical numbers, stuff like that. Like my ops
Mhm.
manager, who's also my friend of mine, who I've wanted to hire for a really long time. Like I've been like, I see his skill set. I'm like, I know this can be so perfect, like blended with my personality. And just 2 months ago, I hired him, so he's on our publishing company full time. Or like he's fractional, does some stuff elsewhere, but like from us, he's like paid full time. And
Mhm.
so or retainer, sorry, full time. People might mean things different in the corporate world. But he's not one
Yeah.
off. He's on a retainer, is the word I'm trying to say. And so having him, like it fits so well, and it's like learned over time what works well with my personality. But if someone were to come in and try to have like creative control, I'd be like clash, like we just clash heads. Like I'd rather take that responsibility, and then I will go hire people. Like I think the most undervalued way to get information right now is just paying somebody for like an hour long call.
Yeah.
And dude, like I don't buy courses anymore. I pay for hour long calls. I go to somebody, what's your hourly rate? And as if it's anywhere from, $500 to $1,000, easy. Boom, let's get on a call. A lot of people say it's cheaper. If you just ask what's your hourly rate, they probably never have done it. But just like go find people who are doing stuff and just pay them for an hour. And you can get so much from that call and really personalize really fast. And so for me, like I'll give up creative control when I'm like going to somebody else to learn from them. And then I'll like pull or bring things from that call over. But yeah, in terms of partnering, I don't like doing that personally, just all clash.
Yeah, I actually really agree with the like hour call, or like
Yeah,
paying
dude.
someone for like four calls over a month. Like
Yeah. People got to do
because
that more. It's so good. Like,
No, it's a hack.
It's not
And
done.
I've had people do that. Like I do that all the time. Um, and I've had people do that with me. And then it's like, and at first I was like, oh, like, should I be charging like, this rate? Like, is that fair? Like they could go buy a course. And I'm like, well, wait, I've consumed probably like $40,000 worth of course content in my lifetime. Like, and then I can like specifically apply it to their problem. Like I'm
Yeah.
saving this person time and money.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was like, and I do this with other people. So why
Yeah.
can't someone do the same thing with me? And so I 100% agree because I'll see people that are like they have this mindset of like, well, if I get a course, then I get all the videos. Like, but then that means that you're just spending time watching videos as opposed to getting the
Yeah, dude.
answers in 1 hour. It's like,
Exactly.
do you want to learn for learning's sake, or do you want to use it?
Yeah. Yeah,
But
exactly. So that's how I like to pay for calls. And honestly, people watch this. Like if you have a network, you have a little bit of an audience. Um, Best offer you can run is just go to your audience, like, hey, for $500, for $250, whatever. Like I'll hop in a call or I'll help you do this and apply it to you specifically. Like that's a huge thing people pay for. Or another one that I've done is like I'll join courses, like you're saying, or communities I really love, and I'll like obsess with the content more than anybody else. And then when people don't want to go through all the time and energy to apply it, like you said, they'll pay you. So that's something that I did, and made like hundreds of thousands of dollars from doing that. Just that specific offer of like condensing the information I learned and applied. And some of it I'd applied, but some of it I just learned and I could just like help them apply it to them more specifically, and it's a great offer. So for
mhm.
people who are like, oh, I need conviction, I have confidence to an offer, like we're talking about, there's two that you can do that don't require building even like a whole product out or anything.
Yeah, no, 100%. You just, I mean, kind of unethical to do that if you've never achieved anything, but like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you've
it's
got a
different
skill
though. But
set,
it's like if you're clear somebody, it's like, hey, I just spent like I just went through whatever 100 hours of this content on this one topic and took notes and I understand it fully. It's like you can go through the 100 hours yourself, or in 1 hour, I'll
you can
show
pay
you
me
what
500
pieces of
bucks
the
and
100 actually you need right now, because 90, not the another 99 hours you don't need right now, but you're gonna have to go through the 100 to figure it out. And they'll be like, oh yeah,
no,
that's ethical,
exactly.
bet. Thank you. And I pay
And
for it.
it's worth it to someone that's actually running a business and
Yeah.
their time is valuable. And then
Yeah,
they'll
dude.
trade money for
Like right now,
that.
dude, if somebody, man, I need somebody right now, if someone's watching this, like with credit cards and credit, like someone get on a call with me, tell me what cards to apply for, what to do. Like, tell me exactly. I don't want to go watch like YouTube videos, all the affiliate links, and I don't just someone tell me, and someone who's been in my situation or whatever. I will pay you for an hour of your time and ask you all the questions, get all the hacks. I'm not going to go through a travel hacking course. It's going to be great. That's something I'll pay for. Simple things like that.
Hold
Like
on,
I love to pay for
I'm
that.
gonna pause you.
All right.
All right, but a funny little side comment there. But anyway, yeah, no, it's like if because that stuff's boring. Same thing happened with
Yeah.
me for like accounting and like taxes. I didn't
Yeah,
want to figure
bro.
that shit out, so I just
That
paid
dude,
someone.
the accountant, talk about the person I paid the longest, most consistent. Like I don't care if I'm going broke or whatever. My CFO and accountant, dude, she's always on retainer. She ain't going anywhere. She's got the I was gonna call her. I'm always like, you have the best business model. Like it sucks, it's so boring, but I'm never going anywhere. Like you've got me hooked. Like I'm stuck. It's genius. It's
That's
crazy.
hilarious. No,
Making bank
it's
off
like
me. And,
I know
and
it's
she up
like
my retainer. She's like, yeah, we're actually going up. Like we're raising it by like, it was like how many dollars? It was like $400, $500. And I was just like, what am I going to do? Go move all my legal everything. No, it's like, all right, run the
it's
card.
it's spooky too because they've got the government like on their side. It's like, all right, I can go to jail or I can pay 400 extra dollars. Take my money.
Yes. They can just scare us
No,
into paying them. Wow.
I know. It's like those people that like run FTC compliance offers and stuff, where
Yes.
it's like you're getting that hopeless limiting
Yeah,
belief,
bro, this
dude. It's
fear.
so bad. It's so bad.
Tough.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about Alan's stuff, and also maybe drive some traffic to Alan because he deserves it. But with Alan, what are some of your favorite things about what he teaches and like the way he teaches? I want to hear your thoughts on like why he, because I have mine and I'll share, but like why his stuff is so much better than anybody else's out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can't argue with just the time he spent in the game. I mean, he started internet marketing when I was a baby. Literally like the year I was born, bro was like making money online. So like you just can't argue with the time. And then I also just think that man, I think that his ability to empower everybody and just like want to see everybody win and just like love for it is like what really shines through. Like the marketing stuff, sure, like that's great. There's a lot of stuff there, but I just really look at like the values and like the motives of why he's doing it and what he's putting out there. So yeah, he's like definitely like top of the game for all of that just because of his love for it. But I also just think, dude, he's creating killers. Like, man, Daniel Neef, like crazy good at copy. I'll get on calls with him and just like ask him for help. Lana Sova, whatever, paid her crazy good. Ben Valen, amazing at ads. Like all these people that are coming from the community, like he's creating absolute killers that are like his whole thing. He wants to be better than him, and so that's happening. And so I just love the Nothing Held Back. Like I love Nothing Held Back community, and I love Alan for creating it so that he can create these killers that are now helping me. And so I just love the community because like the people who are inside of it, and like Lauren Phillip, or yeah, I think his last name's Phillip.
Pinellas.
Uh, something. It's
I think it's Pinellas or something.
something
Maybe
like
I
that.
got that
Yeah,
wrong.
dude. Whatever. Sorry, butcher your name. And all these people, man, like Phillip got podcast via cells and all these people. So that's what I really love
With
about the
like very
community.
specific skill sets. It's really
Yeah, dude.
nice
It's awesome.
because
It's awesome.
I was like a couple months ago, Tanner and I had an issue with like ad account stuff. And it because the ad side we're good at, it's the tech side. And Jen Springer was like unbelievably clutch, dude. She like she's like
You got
has like
locked.
MLM background, so
Oh yeah.
she can like bypass anything. So that was
Shout out the
incredibly
MLM
helpful.
companies.
Um, it's super nice. And then you got people that can do, and then like I've gotten business from people in HB Plus and Fast Forward, just like I have my own skill sets, and so it's like everybody is making money without what Alan teaches, and then you can just like pay people to solve your problems. It's really
Yep.
nice.
Yep.
Um,
Exactly.
so I mean, I think I agree. It's the time in the game and like the experience, um,
Yep.
which most other guys just don't have. He also has done it consistently through different phases. So
Yeah.
when he talks about, all these other gurus, like, oh, they were good when the Facebook pixel was dialed in, and then iOS 14 happened, and now they can't do shit. But
Yeah.
Alan, before really even Facebook was big, he was doing stuff. When Facebook was big, he was doing stuff, and then after iOS 14, he's still getting results. And it's like at that point, you can't argue that
Yeah.
the guy knows exactly what he's doing. Um,
Yep.
I'm interested now because I think one topic that a lot of people wonder about, if you were to start from um, no business, very little money, how would you start making money?
I go get a job first of all. Like
You
I go
would?
get a 9 to 5 or a part-time job. Which is it's funny because looking it was man, so I got married last year, approaching my 1 year. It'll be my 1 year, July 8th. And so year before that in the winter, um, at the time I was transitioning between offers and I'd launched an offer and it was like a done for you offer. And like it was like on outbound lead gen. It was this offer I was running, done for you kind of cold email stuff. Because I'd done it for myself and I thought I could do it for others. And eventually realized just at the scale that I needed to be and technical skills, I didn't have it. And so I ended up like refunding those clients, like out of my own will. I was like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to deliver this. So I refund them. And then that put my business at a state where it's like between offers, no cash flow coming in. I had like 6K in overhead. And so I dropped down. I'm only making about like $2,000 a month with 6K in overhead. And I'll never forget, it was around Mother's Day or something, like a few months after that. I was driving with my girlfriend at the time, who's my wife. Sorry, wife now, girlfriend then. And our car broke down. My car broke down on the highway. This is like that classic guru rags to riches. This is great. But literally broke
Hero's
down my
journey.
old Jetta, bro. Oh, my poor Jetta. diesel Jetta. So dumb I got that, but it literally breaks down. And my wife, she's so amazing. She's like, it's okay. Like, it'll be fine. I'm just like freaking out because I knew in my bank account, I literally had less than $100 because I was waiting on some Stripe payments to come over, but I didn't have instant payout. And even that would have been like a couple more hundred. So car's broken, just crazy. And I'm sitting there and I'd call my dad, mom pick me up to come get us. They're coming and we're in the car and I'm just sitting there and on my phone, like I built up like a personal brand a little bit on my Facebook profile. So I'm like, how can I like sell something of value to make some money? Because I didn't have enough money to even tow my car from that location. So just sitting there. And I go on and I make a post, an infamous post now. And you guys can go find my profile if you just type in like $27 or like I'll help you. And so I made this post. It was a low ticket offer. And I said, like, for $27, I'll help you do blah, 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 blah. And it blew up. There's like 400 comments, 500 comments on it. And people wanted this offer so bad that they were finding my PayPal. You can go to the comments, just be like, I paid you already. Nothing even created yet. So I just launched an offer in the car, driving back to my place. So like, I need money to like tow my car. And so it was crazy. And so I know what it's like. So like, it's all that to say, your question, like if I was starting at zero, what would I do? Like, I actually can answer this because it happened, and it happened as of like 2 years ago. And then all of this, like leading up to saving for a wedding, like having to delay proposing to my wife because I couldn't afford to get decorations to do it, and let alone the ring. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, man, first step, I went over to Planet Fitness, which I was by, asked if they had a night shift job. The guy was like, we don't, but I was like, please, yeah, I need this. I'm getting married soon. I need money. Like, I have to work during the day. Like, do you have anything? And so I convinced him to open up a spot. And so I was going to go work a night shift job. But while I was doing that, I was also prospecting to go get more clients for just like doing marketing and whatnot for my agency. And right when I got the call back from the guy at Plant Fitness saying that I'd gotten this shift, that spot, and asked him when I could start, I closed a client for my agency for like $3,000 a month. And I was like, hey, I told him, I'm sorry, I'm all good. Turned down the job, never had to work, but I was ready. Like, I was ready to go get a job. So I think for anyone, it's like, dude, go get a job, make sure you have some cash flow, and then go sell your time as a service in some way. It doesn't need to be marketing, bro. Like, you can go anywhere. You can do physical stuff, home service. I'd either do like home service or marketing.
DoorDash was the go-to for Tanner and I when we started. That's how we like got our agencies off the ground.
Yeah.
fast, 'cause
Yeah. And I even just
it's
like, dude, home service, like I'm saying, like actually go do it. Like, go work on someone's house. Like,
yeah, no,
what?
exactly, exactly.
So
It's not a bad idea.
no, yeah. So I do that. And then it was funny because that client I sold for 3,000 a month. A week later, upsold them to get 1,000 more from them to do their email marketing. Then they're like, we're trying to do a low ticket offer. And I'm like, don't pay this other dude, just pay me. Put me as your CMO, like pay me 5,000 a month. I'll do everything because I just want that consistent income leading up to getting married. So within a month, I upsold them all the way 5,000 a month. That client ended up, I stayed on for a whole year, 5,000 a month. And just from that, so I didn't have to go get that job, and I was able to build up from there. And so that's what I would do. Just like go get a 9 to 5, make sure you can pay the bills and cover it, and then go start working and try to get like a night job. Like, that's what I would do, is go, because I was going to night job. Then I'd work my agency, hang out with my wife, go back to my night job, and maybe sleep for a little bit. And that was my whole plan. And I was lucky enough I didn't have to do it, but dude, I was ready. Like, I was fine. Like, forget, like, who cares? Like, a lot of people have pride or ego and they think, oh, I'm better than this, so I can't do that. But it's like, no, like, those jobs can be a blessing. They're a blessing to people. They're a blessing to you that's even out there. So that's what I would do.
Pretty big indicator of if you're actually going to succeed in business is if you're willing to do stuff that's not romantic.
Yeah.
Like, right, like
Yep.
the best because this is, you told me like a lot of guys that hit you up about, hey, how do I get started in business? You know what I always say? I say, all right, if you want to get started in business, go DoorDash for 10 hours a day for the next 30 days and come back to me. And I promise you, I'm going to show you how to make money online. Never had anybody come back to me.
Yeah, no, dude, they won't.
because it's like, if you're not, because then what happens is like, maybe they do it for a week. They're like, yo, I just made like, $1,000 off of $2,000 off of DoorDash. They go like buy shit instead of like, because
Yeah,
because
you save it up, invest it.
yeah, no, it's online business seems great until you have to like spend money on ads, not knowing if you're going to get a return. And then
Yeah.
it suddenly like doesn't seem so hot. It's kind
Yeah.
of funny.
It's
But I
crazy.
mean, that's the best indicator of if you're like actually gonna if you're actually gonna follow through and if you're serious about it. So
Yeah.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Um, cool. Well, we got like 10 more minutes here.
Mhm.
Trying to think. Do you want to go over maybe like a couple mindset things, or do you want to go over like kind of moving forward with offer creation? Because I think a lot of people that follow me think offer creation is interesting. Um, just kind of like a couple of tips from you on offers, because I know that's your skill set, low ticket offers, things like that. Do you have one you'd prefer to share about?
Man, I mean, I'm curious, like, what do you think on mindset? Like, do you think, like, do you think you could do this game without mindset? Do you think we need it?
That's
Like,
a
yeah,
good
what do you
question.
think? What do you think? I'm just curious. Like,
That's
because
actually
everyone's different, everyone's different. So I'm
so
just curious.
no, that's actually a really good question. So for me, when I started, I was like, I was like, okay, all these courses have their like stupid mindset section in the beginning, and
Yep.
it's like I always skipped it because there's no point to it, was what I thought. And then after I started making money, I realized that when my mindset was good, I can't explain it either. But when my mindset is good, like if I get a payment in and I'm feeling like, damn, I just, I closed like a 10K deal. It's like all take home. It's just for like a consulting deal. Like that feels nice. Then suddenly like everything seems to line up. When I have like a mindset of like money's easy, like it just flows naturally, then
Yep.
more flows naturally. But if you ever get in like a rut, or
Yep.
there's sort of like a period where you're just not having money come in, you're not sure where your next like payout's going to come from,
Yep.
then everything becomes more difficult. So
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even I don't even know if I can say exactly why that's true, but
Yeah.
that's what I've experienced, and that's what I've seen. I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you think about like money, minds, like that kind of stuff, like you're saying, oh, like abundance, like, would you say that's like a feeling of like possibility, or like hope? Like, would you like that there's,
It,
or
and it's a feeling of like, it almost feels like bold. A feeling of like, I could care less if I had to spend this 10 grand
yeah,
on
yeah,
something, because I know for a fact I can get it back
yeah,
tomorrow. And it's
yeah,
that sort of like energy, where just everything seems to go right.
yeah,
And that's another thing I like from Alan, is he kind of really does dive into the mindset portions on an HB plus. and
yeah.
and I always find that when I like listen to that, then things just seem to go right for the next few days. I know that you sometimes, and maybe this is a joke, but sometimes you aren't the biggest fan of the mindset. You just want to get straight
No,
to
I
the
mean, no,
to the
so I love what you said though. And like what you said, like kind of summed up where you're like, you couldn't care if like this happens, like you don't care about the outcome because you like, there's so much possibility or hope, right? Like it's kind of like
yeah,
what sums up to a lot of the time. I love
yeah,
that you say that because that's like the only thing that I think people really need. And it's all I really lean on. Like there's so many different tactics and hacks, but for me personally, um, I always have that feeling like I don't care if something's gonna go wrong. Because for me personally, my belief is that in the end, I'm gonna go to heaven where everything's way better than it is here. So if people
yeah.
really want to know the ultimate hack, is like have faith
It's
in
hope.
something bigger than yourself. Like people are like, how do you do this? How can you're 14 starting your business, or you're leading up to your wedding, you don't have money saved up, you can't buy the ring. Like, how did you keep going? Like, what's the hack? I'm like, dude, like in my mind, I have complete belief. And I don't care if people think it's fake or real or not. It's like, I don't care. Guess what? I'm still waking up every day full of hope, full of possibility. The worst case scenario would happen, I would still be happy because I know that there's a better payoff at the end. And so, whether it's through Christianity or any kind of mindset, I think all of it comes back to that. You're coming to terms with being like, hey, it's going to be okay, whatever the outcome is, and then that frees up you and frees up like any like of that resistance that would stop you from moving forward. And so I think all mindset is really just doing that. It's like calling people's anxiety and fear of the future. And but for me, I don't have as much fear of the future because I believe
Your faith.
that I know, yeah, I believe I know it's going to happen. And so and then when you look eternity, bro, like when you think about bigger than just here, all this business stuff seems so small. It seems so little. You get out of like, it's like, man, like, why am I so stressed about this? Like, this is just a small piece of why we're here. And then that allows me to move better in my business and move more efficiently and grow faster because I'm not ends all be all, like this has to work. So I kind of like loosen my grip a little bit, which I think entrepreneurs need to get better at, is like loosening their grip from their business. And so, yeah, dude, I love mindset, but it's really come down to that one. And that's it. Like all of it just comes back to it. So I just lean on that. And yeah, I skip mindset sections of calls or trainings and books. And I've watched them. I'm not saying I've never watched them, but once I figured that out, dude, I'm good. Like what else is there to need, you know?
Because it feels like at this point you kind of have the key to it, right? Like,
Yeah, I feel good. Like, and again, people be like, oh, well, what if it's like fake or not? It's like, well, I don't know. All the other mindset stuff, you're just tricking yourself to believe something that's not true in the moment. So like, okay, like
and if it's fake, so what?
who
What do
can?
I do?
Yeah, dude, that's why I tell people like, why at least like have at least you're believing something that makes you feel good. Like, so I don't know. That's how I like to approach it. And I always tell people who aren't Christians, especially if they're in business, I'm like, hey, you're so willing to pick up any random self-help book from some random person. Like, why not just pick up the Bible and try it? Just read it, just see. And if you do, like, I think every entrepreneur needs to start in Ecclesiastes. It's in the Old Testament, written by King Solomon. I don't know. You've obviously heard Proverbs or King Solomon, richest, most wise king in the world.
I grew up Christian too. My dad's
Yeah,
actually
dude. So you
a
get it, bro. Like,
Christian
and like,
author.
yeah, dude. Frick, there you go. Like, you know, you were born and raised. But like everyone knows, you people watch this who aren't Christian, you know, King Solomon, business owners reference him. They always read Proverbs, but they skip Ecclesiastes. And they were talking, we wrote 3 books: Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Songs of Solomon. No one talks about Ecclesiastes. And Ecclesiastes picks up when King Solomon, he got all the money in the world, all the wisdom, everything that all people in business are chasing. He got to that point and he realizes that it's all meaningless. He tried everything: women, drugs, humor, real estate, slaves, everything. Tried everything, all meaningless in the end. And so I'm like, he gets that. And then at the end of the book, you guys have to read it because I don't want to spoil it, but he finds a conclusion of what life's all about. And that's the real secret. But it's funny because all people in business, you're chasing the real estate, the money, the girls, the drugs, the lifestyle, the cities, the employees, all the same stuff that somebody who is so rich, no one ever can get to that point again as rich he was. So you can't say, oh, money, you just haven't made enough. Like, he didn't make enough money. Like, no, he made the most money. So he is at the most experience and most wisdom. And even he said it was meaningless. And so I love Ecclesiastes. I tell everyone to read that book. It's what kind of keeps me grounded and gives me like the key to what we're supposed to do as an entrepreneur, as a person on this earth. And that's like the last mindset thing I really need to kind of fuel me. And if I need more, I'll just, keep opening up the Bible.
Really interesting here. I've heard like, I hear a lot of Christian entrepreneurs, but I don't hear them apply it to their life in the same way you do.
Yeah, no, they go to Proverbs, bro. They read the verses, they get you. They're like, God wants you to be prosperous. They read all the good verses they can make sound good, which is like, yes, I do believe God wants us to live an abundant life. But
Proverbs 2:3, God said, buy my course on copywriting and thou shalt prosper. It's like truth
crazy,
versus
bro.
trust, baby. Truth versus trust.
I cannot. That's why I won't do Christian biz op offers. That's crazy. Like using faith. I'm like, y'all are leaving out all the other verses. So yeah, dude, I think everyone needs to read Ecclesiastes. I think that's the best book. It's like they won't read that in the challenge, their Proverbs challenges where they're trying to get people to buy their high ticket course on coaching courses and all that stuff. It's like, no, they'll skip Ecclesiastes. They'll read the part where Solomon's happy and enjoying life, but they won't read the end of his story. It's all right. That's all good.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, there you go. I'll wrap it up here. I think that was a ton of value. And I like the non-edited, non-overly
bro. Let's
flashy
just talk,
video.
man. No one, all the ADHD style, dude, like guru, like red and blue light behind me and the weird graphics, like the puppet masters are like, bro, get out of here. Like, let's just talk.
The puppet masters.
Yeah, bro, get you're the puppet master, bro. Like, get this ADHD editing style out of here. No thumbnails. I don't want to see I started 10 businesses. The show wasn't luck. Get your Alex Ramosi just knocked off stuff out of here, bro. Don't even get me started. Like, I mean, hey, I'm a Christian. I gotta love others. I know that. But hey, I'm gonna call out these boys who be just tricking these people. Like, it's just the editing style. I don't hate the person. I just freaking editing style. That's it.
I
That's
know
it.
it's the Mr. Beast
Mr.
for business owners.
Beastification. I
Yeah, yeah, no,
let's
it's
go.
Mr. Beast for business owners, literally.
Yeah, that's
I
who
do.
we're planning.
I'll wrap this up here because I have another call in 3 minutes. So
Get
I'm
it,
guessing you
man.
do too. But